morning and welcome to Limitless, the show that brings you love and inspiration on a Saturday morning. My guest today is a classically trained soprano singer, songwriter, and vocal coach. She started singing as early as 14 and she began singing as backing vocalist for her sister's group, Bonney M, taken to some of the biggest stages at a very tender age as she toured around the world. She went on to co-found the band As Is, where she collaborated on writing and singing. And in the year 2000, she recorded her first solo album. It's Jacinth. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Maria, and welcome to you too.
Thank you so much. It's really good to have you on the show. I mean, my goodness, you've had so much experience in the music industry and you come from such a strong Christian musical background. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And of course, you've got your new single today, we're going to talk about today, called The Great Commission. How excited must you be right now?
Extremely, because it's like been such a long awaited phase of my life. It's like so many things has transpired leading up to this, but it's very exciting, Maria.
I can imagine. So what is the what's been the feedback so far from people with regard to this song, which we're going to obviously hear and watch later on?
Yeah, I think because it's kind of cutting and crossing kind of borders in terms of its style. It's appealing to sort of a very wide spread of people. So that is so exciting.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I particularly like the way in which you have packaged the message, Matthew 28 so perfectly, the Great Commission, and you've put it in a palatable way that everybody can actually receive it. There's no excuse. There is no excuse. We know now, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. Now, of course, your sister you are part of the Boney M in a sense. You were the backing vocal. You're also related to the family. Tell us a little bit about those experiences.
Oh yeah, my sister is the original lead singer of Boney M, Liz Mitchell, and she's still performing today as Liz Mitchell, the original lead singer of Boney M, around the world. It hasn't stopped. So it's a phenomenal account of what and her faith as well, I can say, is something that's also driven her, and I believe is again tangible why this the musical history has continued, because obviously there's a foundation from where it's coming from. It's not just the music, there's a message. So yes, that's it. I don't want to kind of ponder on and talk about other things, but
yeah. And of course, okay, so we know that your history, where you came from, was from a very Christian community. Your family were very Christian, and of course that's the foundation, which is a beautiful way to start. I know when I look at the music from back then, there were lots of religious connotations, a lot of connotations, and the message was very much geared around the Christian foundation. And it seems as though you carried on with that. Would you say that most of your musical career has always had that foundation where you kind of like, it says train up a child in the way they go, and if your roots in music is that, do you think that that's been connected with that?
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, but I also have to agree to disagree, because when you're growing up, you are influenced and you are exposed to so many other different styles of music, and it wouldn't be truthful for me to say I wasn't exposed to different styles of secular music. I was, and that, I believe, has also been part of the influence that's kind of molded some of the styles, because we listen to jazz, you listen to rock, you listen to so you listen to a lot of different styles of music. But yeah, the foundation of our faith has been a major aspect in our lives. And also my mum is also a singer. She sang with her sister when they were little girls of about 8. They started singing around Jamaica, and they came to the UK and continued singing as the Stewart Sisters.
Amazing. Okay, so tell us about your background. I know your mother, she was a singing powerhouse, of course, in church, and your father had been honored by the Queen with an MBE.
Yes. So sorry to interrupt you. Sorry.
It's okay. Jamaican background, your earliest fond memories, and just about how you started in music.
Yeah, I like always keen to, like most children, you grow up singing songs and you go to church, Sunday school, you learn all the songs, all the hymns, you come back home and you're practicing, and obviously very influenced by your older siblings, and so my sister went on to, becoming a singer, and that obviously influenced me as well. So it just developed from there, really.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, I've said this already to you. You look so much like your sister. You could literally pass for your sister.
That's true.
Have you had people say to you in the past, like mistaking?
Mm. Yeah, many times. Many times people would come up to me mistaking me for her, and I just would look at them as if, well, who are you? I don't know you. And they'd be kind of really insulted, because some of them were really good friends of hers, and they'd be thinking like, well, why, why did you not recognize me? It's like suddenly, you're too much of a big shot to recognize me now. But it happens, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your father. This great man that got an MBE from the Queen. Of course, for his work in the community, the African Caribbean community, as far as creating social clubs and catering for the elderly in London. How did that impact you? How did that influence the person that you are today?
Oh, immensely, because even still today, his drive and like passion for life is something that keeps, it keeps all of us, I think, in that focus. Because even recently, as I've been ill and gone through, really quite severe medical condition, you kind of come out and think, God, life. What is it about? How am I going to regain my strength? How am I going to start again? Or how am I going to continue from here on? And then I have to reflect on like my dad and my mum, and I just see how they've continued through much adversity. They have continued, and they are still continuing today. So that gives me immense, power and immense fortitude to keep myself going, and for to be to show that to the next generation as well, so that because sometimes it gets lost along the way. So
Yes.
if I can be a conduit for that, then I think hopefully I've learned from my parents, and
Yeah, it's amazing how much our parents have an influence on
yeah.
our lives. I hear you with this, with the understanding that if they can do it, I can do it, and you need to have that. And I feel that's basically that's one of the main issues that the society is failing now, where parents, going through. I mean, it's a lot of the times it's not their fault going through the systems of this world, and
Mhm.
not being able to be a proper role model, and the young people look at external forces as the role model without understanding the process, without
Right.
being young
Yeah.
enough to see it and see the ups and the
Exactly.
downs and how the person deals with that. Do you
Exactly.
find that that's been your strength, and how have you pulled on that, for instance?
Um, Obviously, because we have younger nieces, and grandnieces, and nephews, and you can see that without direction or without that guidance, they'll fall off. So
Yeah.
yes, it's imperative. It is imperative that we stand for something. And
Yeah.
I hope that through my music, you know, that will give that shift, because it's not. I hope that it doesn't come across as overly kind of like religious or so in that way, but that it has a message that everybody can rally around and enjoy. Not just the music, but understand the lyrical content as well, and that it can be embodied together, and make it
Mm.
special, make it something to work for, like this, like the song says, make every day count.
Yeah. Music is such a powerful force in communicating to people in a pleasurable way, in a way they can easily receive it, that sort of universal language. And I'm totally one for, yes, you could be a secular artist, you could be a jazz artist, you'd be a Christian, you could be, a music minister. But the core of it all is that we sing and we perform who we are. the core
Exactly.
of who you are will always come out. So for those people out there whose minds have been corrupted, that's what you tend to get. You know,
Yes.
in the end of the day, the music is a pure form of God's
Mm.
creation, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
sometimes even outside of the lyrics, your
Yeah.
expression can be found in your voice, or in
Exactly.
a saxophone, or in a flute, or whatever. The
Yeah.
expression of the player can be
Yeah.
heard,
Yes.
non-verbal, non-linguistic sort of language, you know, as such.
Exactly.
In this particular case, you know, it's just, and in a lot of the music that I hear from you, it's just so positive. It's so
Thank you.
uplifting, you know.
Thank you very
It's
much.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So
Thank
tell us
you.
this: what inspired you? I know that the Great Commission is pretty obvious for all Christians to understand, and I linked it particularly to Matthew 28. But what inspired this particular song as the lead of the single at this moment, at this time?
It just seemed it was appropriate. It's you know, it's talking about a time that we're living through at the moment,
Yeah,
currently. It's current.
yeah,
You know, I suppose we could have chosen any of the tracks from ideas and so that we're writing, but yes, that one was it was appropriate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's we need a bit of dance music in our life.
Yeah. You know, and coming back to what you were saying about the music and it's individualistic, it is because you know, each person is given a message, and that message they have to deliver, and it's just the same as in, you know, in the Great Commission. The message came from Jesus to the disciples. The disciples were the ones that were given the message to go out
Yeah,
and do, you know, the service to the world. They were the ones. It wasn't given to everybody, it was given to them. So I think that when, you know, when we find ourselves in that predicament as well, is that, you know, we've been chosen to do something and we shouldn't undermine that, you
yes,
know, because we don't know why God has chosen us to do that. So yes, coming back to the song, I believe it was for the time. And I
yes.
believe also that, I don't want to keep talking, but I just one more thing. You know, that as much as it's there for the for us as the Christians to go out and spread the word, there are folks out there who don't know about the word, so they
Yeah.
need to so understand what it's
Most definitely. Do you know what? You don't need to apologize to keep talking. We are all here to hear you
about.
talk. This is about you today and your ministry. So I am very grateful for as much as you talk. It's great. You know, it's amazing how much we are. There is a rhythm that we're all dancing to every day, and sometimes
Yeah,
people lose their rhythm. They
yeah,
lose the rhythm of heaven.
yeah,
Joyful celebration. It says, make a joyful sound unto the
yeah,
Lord. And it's a privilege to be called and
yes,
chosen,
yes,
you know. So, what a better way to start your day than to remind yourself who you are, whose you are, and the great call that, you know, that we've been privileged to be called and chosen to, and to
exactly.
dance it into that rhythm of the day. And, you know, it's so amazing. You know, I really do notice from a spiritual perspective, it's not so much what we say with the language that we speak.
Hmm.
It's more to do with the rhythm, the rhythm
Right.
that we portray. It's
Hmm.
to do with the joy that exudes from our heart. I love it.
Totally,
So
totally agree with you.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Now I know you mentioned you know, you were recently unwell, and we all go through ups and downs in life. Can you tell me a time where you know, you faced limitations, and how have you been able to get yourself out of that? So just to strengthen and advise some of the listeners.
Well, when you're kind of knocked down with something that, you know, just kind of appeared from nowhere, and you're gonna have to deal with the reality of being hospitalized and operation, um, and you know, you feel totally um, just vulnerable,
Mm,
because you know now it's no longer about you,
yeah,
because once you are under the, you know, you're under the scissors or the knife of the you know, of the consultant or whatever, it's really anything can happen.
Yes.
So this is really also where you then have to like exercise your faith.
Yeah.
You have to find it. You have to find it. And I think for anyone who is going through, you know, any situation like that, it's very difficult to have that conversation with someone because it's an individual thing that you are personally experiencing, and it's sometimes hard to define what you feel. But knowing that you know your faith and your trust is in God, you really have to hold on to that.
Yes.
That is the one thing that you know you can count on, where everything else is failing around you. Because even when you get inspiration or, you know, words from your family, just to, you know, console you and get you through that period, it
Yeah.
it it still does not really touch the grain of where the struggle is lying. The struggle is within, and you need to find that within through God to
Yeah.
to survive you, to actually take you through it, and to give you the strength to survive it.
Yes. Well said. Most definitely. Most definitely. You know, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so true. Oh, that's really inspiring for me, because you know we go through so much time, and I think when people can be able to reach deep within and find, and he's always there, but it's finding him within. You know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you have to, it's almost as if you have to, it's a spiritual conversation,
Yeah.
because it's a spiritual struggle that you're going through, that you can't reveal it through any other source.
Mhm.
And the pain and all the different things that accompanies what you're going through,
Yeah.
um, is again an individual thing that you can't express to
Yeah.
your loved ones, even though they're there supporting you
Yeah.
through it. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So, in
Mhm.
that respect, if there is anybody else out there who is facing, you know, do not have to face it alone. Face it through Christ.
Yes.
He will hold your hand through
Yes.
every situation. But you have to. It's like you have to relent.
Hmm.
You know, it's almost like that word came to me today that said, "Be still and
Yeah.
know that I am God."
Yeah.
Be still. And many times that would, you know, reverberate itself up in me, because I would find myself frantically worrying and thinking, how am I going to do this? But I couldn't do it on my own. And I
Yes.
had to at some point just relent and just allow God to do the rest. And here I am today. I'm a witness of His greatness. I'm healed, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
There'll be another day when I can probably do the testimony of actually the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But I'm here today, and I thank God.
It's amazing how God gives all of us a testimony. We've got a testimony for our strength and for the
Yes,
strength of others as well, isn't it? Yeah, to
yes,
shine a light for them, give them hope and a future. Amazing. Okay,
yeah.
so this is the time that everyone's been waiting for. We're going to hear your music, The Great Commission. I want you to introduce it yourself, and then we'll listen to it.
Okay, well, you're going to be listening to The Great Commission. I'm not exactly sure which one, if it's the Afro Beats mix or it's the Afro Beats mix. So The Great Commission Afro Beats mix. Hope you enjoy it.
Enjoy.
On the last day of his life, Christ was in Galilee. Peace be with you, he said. All authority in heaven and earth has been given to me, he said. And surely I am with you always.
Lovely. I was dancing away. I was dancing away.
It's hard to keep still, isn't it?
It is so hard to keep still with this song. Now, I
Yeah.
know you studied music. You did a degree in music at University of Cambridge. And of course, you wrote and produced your album. You co-wrote and produced a lot of your album, Here from Heaven. Can you tell us a little bit about that process, please?
Yes, that was actually written together with my husband. So we collaborated, and we just came up with the concept of we really wanted to do something special, and we were just inspired, and we just wrote the album, and it was done within a matter of like days. Lyrically, it was all written and so on. And then obviously the time, then we worked with Lindsley Campbell, who is a phenomenal producer, to actually pull the whole thing together. And this is the result of it.
And I love this Afrobeat as well. Who produced that? Who remixed
Also Lindsley Campbell.
very lovely sound,
Yeah.
really nice. The whole thing, all the remixes are beautiful.
Thank
Now,
you very much.
yeah. So studying music, how did that help you with because you already came from a pedigree of music. You already refined it with lots of experience as well. So how did that take you to the next level?
It did, because as I said before, that I think my university experience came from my sister.
Yes.
Because I've been working with her so much, and I learned already, maybe if you want to go backwards, I learned all of the things that you do and you don't do vocally, the different it's not necessarily I didn't sort of like formalize what I was doing, but I learned the practical things of being on stage and how to maneuver yourself in that respect. And then there were other little things that I learned as well, just being on the road with my sister. But then when it came to sort of formalizing it, I wanted to do my degree, because I always like to have a greater understanding of the depth of what I'm doing. And it just felt appropriate. It was something I always wanted to pursue. And when the opportunity came and I had the support, from my husband to do it as a mature student, I went and did it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I do believe that studying does help you, broadens your understanding and gives you a different perspective of looking at things, which is really enriching when it comes to writing and when it comes to
very disciplining as well, because like as a singer, you do need to take care of your voice. Yeah. And sometimes we are quite harsh, and we're quite abrupt with how we handle our voices. And if we understand what it is that we need to do, it will, if you're talented anyway. But if you're talented and you have the opportunity to have longevity, then that just means you can work with what you have to improve it, that it will remain with you for longer.
That's right. Yeah. But with saying all of that, nothing beats experience.
Exactly. And talent. If you don't have it, you can practice till the cows come home. You're never going to sound.
So true. So tell us, how can people connect with you? Firstly, I've got scrolling at the bottom, the Great Commission, available on all downloadable sites, so people go out there and download it. But how can people connect with you and find out what you're doing on a regular basis?
Well, you've got my website, which is www.jacinth-live.com. And also it's on all of the major streaming platforms. We said before, I think you mentioned TikTok and YouTube and that, didn't you, before? So, and that will keep you updated on all the latest activities, all the gigs and the shows. I've got a show to do, actually, I'm preparing for right now, in Stevenage today. So that will help you to keep abreast of what we're doing. And there's a lot of exciting things to come. We've obviously got working on a new single for the autumn as well. So just keep posted.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being an absolute amazing guest. I want to ask you one small favor before you go, because there are people who will be watching this and are watching this that will be so inspired, number one, by your connection, the people and the experience of what you have been exposed to in your life, together with your knowledge in music. You went in as a mature student, so you were learning from that perspective, which is a real great thing, I believe. And of course, just everything. Is it possible that you could just look in the camera and just give them some advice to somebody out there who is wanting to get into the music industry, a young musician, doesn't know where to go, you know, that sort of thing? If you could just give them some advice, whatever the Lord is laying on your hearts, just impart that to them, please.
Yeah. Are at in your life, if it's something that you passionately feel, you know, strongly about, that you want to formalize, then I would say, you know, look for a good college or university, find a good teacher, vocal coach if you're a singer, you know, somebody to help you if you're part of the church, you know, exercise your talents and gifts there, because a lot of your rewards come from heaven. So if you are in the right place, God will open doors for you. But the thing that I would like to leave with you is that if you have a desire in your heart, never give it up. Just keep going, even though it, you know, all the odds are stacked against you. But remain focused and believe and trust that this is something God has ordained for you.
Amazing. Thank you so very much. I like those words. Really wise word. Prepare the vessel and God will pour into it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. It's been wonderful talking to you, and I look forward to meeting you in person.
Yes, likewise. Likewise.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. So everybody else,
thank you as well.
You know, I have no doubt that you are a face and a voice that will be around, just touching people's life and inspiring them for many, many years and decades. You know, I'm excited about what God is doing in your life. There are many out there who don't know their way, you know, as far as secular music, the tug of war as to which direction. And we need role models. You know, we need people out there that can show them, hey, listen, as a Christian, be you, and let whatever's within you. I love it. You know, yeah. And so I really see God elevating you, all areas of your life, shining, prospering, you know, and exuding his light and his glory. In Jesus'
name. So much. Thank you. I received that. Thank you.
Okay, so everyone, this is goodbye from me, and of course, goodbye from Jacinth. And so I will see you. I'll see you next week, same time and same place. But for now, many blessings. Goodbye.